Hello everyone. Um, I'm sorry I made a video so soon after my last video, but there's been an event, as you all know, or as you may have heard, and I really had no choice in the matter. Like, nobody left me with any choice in the matter whether to make a video. I mean, I could have chosen not to make a video, but how could I not respond to what's happened? How could I turn a blind eye? Could you turn a blind eye if if it were your city? Would you turn a blind eye? Like if it had happened right outside your door, would you have turned a blind eye? And it's just it's just terrible what's happened. It's so terrible. It's terrible. There's been an event. Powers that be were embarrassed, and the powers that be knew what they had done, and the powers that be were scared of a backlash. As well they should be. As well they should be. They should be worried and scared about a backlash. Because there will be a backlash this time. This time there will be a backlash for what they've done. So they sent a spy to spy on me. I feel so honored. I finally hit the big time. I've got spies spying on me. And I've seen her before. She was watching me all morning long. I was getting ready for an inspection and was taking boxes downstairs. I ordered a ton of stuff just recently, okay? Ordered a ton of stuff just recently. I had boxes lying around. I was taking down all the boxes. She was staring at me like, and watching me take all these boxes down. And I knew I could get in trouble with management. I really didn't want to get caught taking down all these boxes. And I worked and worked and worked to break down the boxes like they had told me that I had to. They told me I had to. I had no choice but to break down every single box, put it in a dumpster. There was no way I could break down all those boxes. My arm got totally swollen from here to the tips of my fingers, completely swollen. Just a miasma of pain. I couldn't go like this without pain, without extreme, excruciating pain. So there was no way that I could keep cutting. There was no way I could break down all those boxes. There was just no way. So I just took them down and put them on top of the dumpsters, and she was watching me. So spy time. Why would they send a spy? Well, they don't like what I've been saying about the powers that be. They don't like it. They don't like it. They think I'm being too negative. But there's just so much bad. So much bad in the world. And how can you help but be negative when there's so much bad? When people have done such bad things. So, who did they send? Well, those cowards sent an African American woman. Why would they send out an African American woman? Well, to psych me out. Because to them, race is all important. They really aren't capable of seeing through color lines or gender lines to humanity. So they always think in terms of race. So they sent this woman to spy on me, and to psych me out, and to stare at me, and to try. Why would they do this? To try to make me feel ashamed. Because you know, maybe they think that what I said about African Americans was was degrading or demeaning in some way, or that it was unfair, and they wanted to make me feel ashamed of what I had said. But I all I have is concern for African American people, for everyone. I have concern for everyone. But no, 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 you must not. You must follow a party line. It doesn't have to be the party line. You have to follow a party line. Anyone who diverges from the party line gets ostracized. So this woman did not make me feel ashamed. Sorry to say. If I had had a reason to feel ashamed, I would have. But I didn't feel ashamed because I had nothing to feel ashamed for. So their little ploy failed. They were successful in spying, but they didn't make me feel ashamed at all. Because what have they done? What have the powers that be done? What have they done? And I'll try to give you an idea. Who could be involved? Who could be involved? Is it the FBI? Is it the CIA? Is it the NSA? Well, how about you try all three, right? FBI, CIA, NSA. It's supposed to be illegal. I'll just give you a hint. It's supposed to be illegal for the CIA to get involved in domestic disputes, in domestic affairs. It's supposed to be illegal. But they do it anyway, and they've been doing it for many, many years. They just went deeper underground and are more of a super spy and tell more lies and keep it more secret on the down low. On the down low. Like Project Monarch and other mind control they subjected me to, which they would deny because there's deniable plausibility. They would deny that the FBI was, or the CIA was ever involved in what happened to me, or that my father had help in high places to do what he did to me. But I know he had help from someone. I know he paired up with his boyfriend. And I guess where his boyfriend lives, he lives in the D.C. area. So that gives you an idea. Gives you an idea of who or what could be involved. So it's real, folks. It's not something I'm foisting on you. It's not something I'm making up. It's not something that I'm trying to make stuff up or paranoid or making stuff up to scare you with. So what happened? Let's just get to the meat of it. What happened? Well, we know what happened. Murder suspect shot a man in the head. The suspect happened to be African American. So you remember that all-important race. The race is more important than anything else. All-important race. And that's what they're teaching kids and children in college now. They're teaching them, don't be colorblind. Look at race. Start seeing people's color. So that's the new brainwashing that they're brainwashing kids with, to make prejudice okay. So then, what did they do? What did they do in downtown Minneapolis? Well, the police were closing in on this murder suspect that had killed somebody. Guy turns around, goes into a corner. He whips out a gun. Everyone sees the gun and starts running away from him. They're running away because they see the gun. He aims it at his chin like this, shoots himself, and the police close in, get the gun away, and start performing CPR on him. It's too late. He's dead. And what happens then? Well, somebody starts a rumor that the police done it. Somebody starts a rumor. Who do you think started that rumor, right? It's probably the NSA. So then, after this rumor gets started that the police done it, there's a riot in downtown Minneapolis. Who pays? Is it the police? No, it's not the police who pay. It's the businesses, big and small. All the businesses pay the price for what the cops supposedly did, which they did not do. So the whole rationale for having a riot breaks down. But did it break down the riot? No. Even this guy got on a megaphone and said the guy killed himself. It wasn't the police this time. Guy with the megaphone was ignored because the crowd was in a frenzy over what happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. They're in a frenzy over the guy getting shot in the back 7 times, which is a little excessive. It makes you think that maybe the cop who did it was under the influence of some sort of maybe a mind-altering drug or hypnotic or maybe even brainwashed into doing it. So what happens next? They destroyed Britt's pub. They set it on fire. They totally looted the Target. They totally looted Saks Fifth Avenue. They totally looted Nordstrom. And they destroyed the downtown area. They destroyed it for no reason at all. They were just their justice, whatever their convoluted opinion of what justice should be, had broken down. So they were just an angry mob. And they were out of control. Powers that be did this on purpose, because they have direct control over the mob. And they were very embarrassed about what they had done. But guys in the high places were chortling to themselves because they planned it all. But the low-level guys work for these organizations were very embarrassed because they were in the wrong. And they knew it, and they should have known it. But it was all planned. It was all staged. Somebody started a rumor that the police done it so that they could totally wreck downtown Minneapolis. And now there's nowhere left safe to go, right? Like, all the transportation is in downtown Minneapolis except for the airport. There's no way out of town now. How can you feel safe there ever again? What if it happens again and again and again? And people were really angry. They really whipped that crowd into a frenzy. They were mad. You could hear the angry voices. If you watch the videos, you could hear the angry voices calling in the background. People were not, it was not white supremacists this time. Wasn't out-of-towners this time. It was the citizens of Minneapolis, and they were really, really angry. They were angry for no reason because it never happened. They'd been had. They were fooled. So, but they still had that mindset that allowed them to commit injustice in the name of a good cause, to commit injustice. And they said that it started peaceful enough until sunset, and then it turned into a riot. It's because people still think that they won't get caught on camera if it's it's nighttime. Well, for one thing, downtown Minneapolis is very well lit. For another thing, they have night sensing cameras, night sensor cameras. They can see anyone, and they could see what everyone was doing. So the cover of Nightfall really didn't protect people at all. It was just a psychological buffer that allowed people to do these things. It was just a psychological buffer. It was the illusion of safety for doing these things, and also doing them in a big crowd. They thought they would never be prosecuted for looting Nordstrom and Saks Fifth Avenue. Like, they're stealing hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise with each armful, and maybe even thousands. They thought they would never be prosecuted for it. Come on. That's a major crime when you get up above $500 and of merchandise stolen, and they're going to do something. They're going to do something. Video's been playing over and over everywhere of the guy in Target downtown kicking the video display. It was video games behind glass. It's kicking it. He never got through it because it was bulletproof. It was totally bulletproof, and there was no way he could kick it in. Started an alarm, and then someone pushed over the Red Bull display. There were cans all over the floor. They showed that again and again, and you can hear the angry voices in the background. People were so mad. They were so mad, and they were mad for no reason. Okay, they were mad about what happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin, but as far as the guy being shot by the police, that was a myth. That was a myth. The guy shot himself, and he was a murder suspect. So he killed someone else, and then he killed himself. And so that was all a lie. It was all a lie. Just because he happened to be African American, it was a crime to kill him. Wouldn't have been a crime if he were white, because, all lives matter is considered a racist thing to say. That's racist. Only Black Lives Matter. That's not racist. So, like Hillary Clinton said all lives matter, and she got in plenty of trouble for it. She got in huge trouble. Whom put her in trouble? It was Black Lives Matter. They spoke out against her. Said, how can you say all lives matter? How could you say such a thing? Don't you understand that only Black lives are under threat? Only Black lives are under threat, so we should only worry about Black lives. There's more white people killed by cops just because there's more white people, but it's not like there's no threat. It's not like there's zero threat. And there were rioters, there were white people out there too. So it wasn't singling out any race. Not singling out any race. We wouldn't single out a race. Why would we? Why would we point fingers and single out one race? There were white people out there too. But like the way the videos go, like when they showed Target, it was mostly black people in the scene. They didn't show any white people. They showed mostly black people, and so the powers that be might be trying to instigate now racial tensions or racial hatred. But if you see the scene, the people over by Nordstrom's was mostly white people and a few black people. There was a 50-50 split. There were people milling around and go for the most expensive merchandise first, right? If you're gonna steal. And Black Lives Matter has taken these kids who never stole before in their lives and made them into thieves. And they've made it okay. They've made it okay to steal. Some of these kids are going to have lifelong records, and they're going to have a lifelong life of crime. They've been turned on to crime. They've been turned on to stealing and to thievery. And they could sell it all on eBay in a second. yeah, or Craigslist. They can sell it all online, and they've been turned on to a life of crime by Black Lives Matter. Is Black Lives Matter? Am I saying that Black lives don't matter by singling out Black Lives Matter? No, because Black Lives Matter is not a slogan. It's not the slogan I object to. It's an organization. It's an organization. That's what I object to. The people that are involved with Black Lives Matter. The leadership. Black Lives Matter, you should know that they are Marxists. They are communists. And that their main objective is communism. But do you think the people who are funding Black Lives Matter want communism? Ultimately, no, they want a totalitarian state. And that's what communism always leads to. It always leads to a totalitarian state because it's the people that are paying for communism that want totalitarianism. They want it. They did it in Russia. It's already been done in Russia. Now it's being attempted to be done here. They've undermined the young ones with education. They've brainwashed them against capitalism and against America. And there's a whole young generation that's been brainwashed by Houghton Mifflin and the powers that be, you know. I had a Houghton Mifflin book when I was in school. But they've changed, like all of these companies have changed. I think there's some sort of a big merger. I don't know if it's Cengage or Pearson is merging with Houghton Mifflin. So they're just going to be a big conglomerate. And how well do you think that's going to go? And I don't know what they get out of dividing America or polarizing America. I really don't know. But I do know they want a totalitarian state. That much is obvious. Totalitarianism, in case you want to know, it's never a good thing. Communism is bad because it wrecks the economy, but totalitarianism is worse. And if you read about Marxism and you read about Communist Manifesto, you read that what they really wanted was a totalitarian state. They really didn't want, because they wanted to keep very strict control because they knew people would object. They knew thousands and thousands, maybe millions of people would object to the system. So to keep the system running and to keep the system going, they have to impose a totalitarian state automatically. And that's what the powers that be want. They want a totalitarian state. It's very, very easy for them to control from their position of power, funding the government. So to them, they've gotten to the point where they have so much money, money is less important to them than complete and total control over humanity. That's what's important to them, is control. Control, manipulation. And you think we were told that Bill Gates was the richest guy in the world. Not true. Not true at all. Even at his richest, he wasn't the richest guy in the world. The guys that are really the super rich, they hide their wealth. They've got their wealth hidden in lots of places. One of them could be Switzerland. But they hide their wealth. Nobody knows what they're really worth. They hide it very well. And they have almost complete control and complete power because of their enormous wealth. So, yeah, guys hiding in the darkness, guys hiding in the shadows, controlling the world. We don't know who all these guys are. We know the guys of yesteryear, but we don't really know who these guys are now. But we can look at the guys of yesteryear to learn something about the new rich. There's Henry Ford. It was Rockefeller, Carnegie, um, uh, J.P. Morgan. Those were the guys of yesteryear. We still read about them sometimes. The Bushes who have been involved in politics, and yes, I can single them out because they were politicians. They're enormously wealthy. Enormously wealthy. They hide their wealth very well. And nobody knows how much they're worth, but they're worth billions. And very rich family, very powerful. That you can see what they really want. They love the wealth because it gives them power, but what they really want is the power, not necessarily the wealth. And that's why they decided to take a more active role in government and politics, because they really, really want to control humanity. It's a big thing for them. Not all rich guys want to control humanity. Some of them just want to enjoy their wealth, but most of them want power. Oh my gosh, they're so power hungry, and they're so driven. They're so, I don't know, they just want wealth and power, and especially power, the power that wealth gives them. If you read about some other rich guys, like what was that one rich guy? What's his name? I'm so bad with names. I just really am bad with names. Can't think of his name. I tried. I failed. Jewish guy in Europe. Funded both sides of every war, like in the Napoleonic Wars, he funded both sides. They say, well, he funded the Allies. Yeah, but if you really dig, he funded Napoleon too. Very rich guys. I don't know if they're still wealthy. I think their wealth is diminished, but very rich. Long history of that family. Very powerful. Somebody's going to comment in the comments, how could you forget the name? How could you forget the name? Because my brain has been going. On medication that causes memory loss, causes memory lapses. Can't remember their name, but I know what they did. So, and anti-Semites make a big deal out of this family, and they, just because they're Jewish and they really don't like them, but they say that he funded Hitler, so he's really no friend of the Jews at all. He funded Hitler. Not a friend of the Jews at all, even though he may have been Jewish. So that's it. Just craziness. Mass chaos in the streets. People looting and stealing and even shooting and killing each other. You tell me why it is. They said it was because they defunded the police, or said they were going to defund the police, that there was an uptick in crime. That's what they told us. But if you heard they were going to defund the police, would you go commit a crime? Would you go out and shoot someone because you heard that they were going to defund the police. Is that what you would do? Or is there another reason? Could it be the anger over George Floyd's murder that caused the uptick in crime? And if it's anger, ask yourself this: who should be the target of your anger? Should it be other black people? If you're black, should you kill other black people because you're angry about the murder of George Floyd? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense. When has crime ever made any sense? Just something to think about. Just something to think about. When people are angry, they take it out on the people they know best, their neighbors, their friends, their family. They take it out on the wrong people. Always. Why do people do stuff like this? Why do they take out their anger on the people that are most familiar to them? Corruption of spirit. Something to think about. So I'm Sarah Jane Alphawolf signing off. Just this is the time to move if you can. Move away if you can while you can. Just move as far away as you can go if you can get away. And I'll see you next time.